You know what it is, episode 5. Driving to the crib right now at Gutsy's house, picking him up, the typical podcast ritual we do here. We're building a little gambling den in their living room. Guts, out of all people, was like, you know what? This is my house. I want to build it myself. I don't have a lot of faith that he's done anything. We'll see. All right, let's go. Let's go see what he's up to. Hey, Guts, you get... There's no way, bro. Holy shit! Holy shit! There's no... You built this, dude?
All by myself.
Bro, there's all this?
You guys know I'm originally a blue-collar guy, Midwest.
Yeah, but you had never touched a hammer before.
You ought to see what I can do with this fucking thing. It's incredible. Look at this.
Where did you find that?
It's all measured. What, the hammer?
Yeah, all of it.
Home Depot. What are you doing? 38 inches.
Bro, we gotta shoot the pot.
Checks out.
We gotta shoot the pot. I mean, bro, you've been grinding.
That's what we do here at SoBet. We grind. All right, well, I guess it's no longer a construction zone. We'll call that off, and let's go shoot the pot.
I'm never looking back. I'm always looking nowhere. See it on my track. Just wanted you to know where.
Welcome back to the SoBet Scoop. Rest in peace. Welcome back.
What brain cell just threw that to the front?
I just thought about it because that's what we used to always do.
Well, for people that
Welcome
don't
back
know,
to episode
the SoBet Scoop
38.
was a live show that we used to do. We gotta
it was
bring
a
it
great
back
show
for fall.
for
We'll
football season.
bring it back for football season. We'll bring it back.
It's a good like Thursday show to do, or even Thursday. It's
Yeah,
a
we'll
Thursday
bring it
show
back
to
for
do.
football season.
Yeah.
Great live show.
Great live show.
But we got some stuff to cover.
We have a lot of stuff to cover. Actually, a lot of things going on. We'll start real quick as we always start. Well, first of all, how was your July 4th?
It was good.
Just to give it, you celebrate our country.
Oh, I mean,
You got after it.
no,
we could talk about exactly what you did because what you did was, some people would argue, psychotic.
what
Yeah.
on July 4th. Oh no,
Well,
that was
what
the day
you did
before.
around.
But yeah.
July
So we climbed Mount Katahdin, tallest mountain in Maine, crazy climb. Good 3rd of July. But then I went to the city for the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the Macy's fireworks from a rooftop in Brooklyn. Maybe, arguably, the most American fireworks show that exists. And I was there.
I think you could definitely argue that.
You got another one?
Murph's Landing,
Where's that?
small town, Illinois.
Nah. I mean, come on. Are we talking the Morrison fireworks show?
And we get pop some graphics up right now of some of the fireworks that go off there. They're great fireworks.
That's where you guys were?
Well, I don't want to get into what happened.
Allegations are swirling.
Told
I mean,
Gutsy
Wes
picks
already brought
cash
him up,
over
but
here.
allegations are swirling.
Told Gutsy picks cash over here. All I'm going to
Why are
say
you
is that
wearing a mask?
I'm not trying to get into it, and I'm not trying to attack anything specific. But the absolute piece of shit fucking Flamingo Casino and Hotel and Resort in Las Vegas is a dirty piece of shit establishment that I will never stay at or spend money at for the rest of my life.
Are you a member of status there right now?
Yeah. But it's a Caesars property, so it's okay. So double bird to the fucking Flamingo.
Still a Caesars guy.
Yeah, through and through.
You're not blaming the management on them? I normally blame it on one level up.
And something you could do, but there's a reason why the Flamingo is...
Maybe their management's not giving them enough resources.
Listen, I checked the cleaning
It
carts.
might be Caesars.
I checked the cleaning carts.
And you might... I've never really trusted Caesars guys. Now that we're bringing this up.
Well, the Bellagio.
I got a win. I got a
Caesars
win
Palace
card.
is a great spot.
I'm a win guy.
Well, the Win, fuck the Win because they're owned now. And I'm not trying to attack. I'm not trying to fucking attack the Chinese, but they're owned by the Chinese now. So I don't know how you feel about that. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's Steve Wynn that kicked Steve Wynn out of town. Also,
they build a fine resort.
the Wynn is not building their next resort in Vegas. They're building it in New York, New York.
Yeah,
Horrible idea.
Perfect. City that never sleeps.
The taxes.
Yeah, it's a great idea. City that never sleeps. It'll be the perfect attraction.
They're
You'll
gonna
love it.
They're gonna tax their taxes.
All right, but why do you hate Flamingo? What's going on?
Well, because the last 2 times I've stayed there, I got sick. Okay, a week after I got home from there. Okay, last 2 times I found it a little suspicious. I wasn't just instantly blaming the Flamingo. Even me and Bryce talked about it. I'm staying up super late, right, till sometimes 8, 9 a.m. this time when I'm in Vegas, right, playing poker.
Recipe to get sick.
Grinding. Sure. But
anywhere in the world.
This body has been through so much third shift work in my life that can't possibly be.
Starting to slow down.
Can't possibly.
Allegations are swirling.
Can't possibly be.
I mean, you're starting to slow down on all fronts.
So the third time I stay there, like I said, I'm a little suspicious already. So the first night I walk in there, I start looking around. Right? I'm like, okay, let me just really check everything out. And I do a deep dive into the vents. If you're staying at the Flamingo Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, I want you to go ahead, go to the 2 vents that are in the room. One that blows the AC out, the other one that's above the shower, and give a peek in there. Okay,
that's disgusting.
Why
would you want to do that?
Well, because I had my suspicions of why I was getting
while
sick.
You were there.
No, I'll never get sick while I'm there. I get sick like basically 3 days after I come back, and it's happened all 3 times.
That's brutal.
And I've been to Vegas 10 times in my life. What, now all of a sudden I'm getting sick? No. There's a recipe to what the fuck's going on.
2 times at the Flamingo.
All 3 times.
Wow.
All 3 times. 3 for 3. 3 for 3. Dirty-ass casino. So I'll be taking my talents to the Caesars Palace next time.
Well, I got a little segue on this. So, mobile 1.16 released today.
App update.
Leaderboards out on the app. Automatic bet tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's racked and stacked. And I remember when we first started to build leaderboards. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we might have it recorded too of Gutsy saying he would be number 1 on the leaderboards when they came out.
Arguably, I was.
I mean,
I fucked myself. Not only am I having a bad start, I'm having a bad season right now, but 2.
I'm a numbers guy.
The last week, I haven't even placed that many bets. I've been surviving because of the Flamingo.
Hey, I'm a numbers guy. I'm just looking at the numbers.
It's on the Flamingo.
I'm not saying there's a reason. I'm just looking at the numbers.
One more thing. I'm not even trying to do this, but the Flamingo. Okay, my buddy Chums, shout out my boy Chums. He's like, oh, hey, let me come out to Vegas. Let me come out because he's right there.
He gets sick too.
So I go, no. I go, I'll book you a room at the Flamingo because I get the, this cheap rate, blah, blah, blah. It's basically comped, right? I do all this shit. The Flamingo it accepts the room, and then all of a sudden it says, nope, we actually push it to a different date. Coming to find out, you can't book a hotel room at the Flamingo while you're already staying there. If you do that with your members rate, they're like, nope, never mind. They switch dates on you, and then they make you pay a whole other amount because they know that it's not you staying there. Even though I told the lady's like, oh, why do you need a new room? I'm like, oh, me and my girl got in a fight, and I don't want to.
That's actually pretty smart of them.
Yeah, but hey, Flamingo, like you're already fucking taking my money. Like, just let me get another room for my buddy. So I don't even know if I got a refund yet.
That's pretty
7
smart.
to 10 business days.
They caught on to scumbags trying to.
I'm just trying to give them more of my money.
I didn't call you a scumbag. I'm just saying. The hypothetical scumbags who were doing it. Okay. They caught on.
Anyways, new app update came out today.
Yeah, leaderboards.
Yeah, leaderboards. Long time coming.
Are you going to put a stake in the ground and tell us when you're going to be on the leaderboard, or
give it week and a half?
Week and a half.
Yeah, I'm getting my bearings back. You can still kind of hear it in my voice. Even I'm not 100% yet.
I'll be dialed on football season. I'll get on the leaderboard for sure. But
I'll definitely be there.
We got some guys on it right now. Let's pull up the past 7 days.
Pull it up.
I think, and it's a guy that he was in a similar spot to Gutsy. And for those who don't know, Gutsy's had a rough baseball season.
Worst one in 3 years.
He's had a rough baseball season. There's a lot of rumors out there as to why he's underperforming. I'm not going to address any of them. I'm not going to address any of them on the show.
Interesting rumors.
That's why they're rumors. However, there was a guy who was in a similar spot. He was ice cold. And that's how sports betting goes, especially when you're straight betting, right? Like, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. And this guy called me up, and he said, I hate the leaderboard. Like, I can't win right now. We released it. It's not my season. And I gave him a little pep talk. I said, hey, sometimes you just got to dig deep. You got to look inside you. You got to reevaluate other things in your life. And maybe one of those things is the reason you're misperforming in other aspects of your life. And he made the decision to move to Nashville. Coincidentally, he really sat down. He reevaluated everything in his life, and he decided to pick up. And he's coming to Nashville. He's going to be here in 2 weeks. That's Mr. Nasty. He's number 1 on the leaderboard right now. Up 26 units the past 7 days. He's on a 4-day winning streak right now. And I mean, it brings tears to my eyes thinking where he was 2 weeks ago, looking at him, and he was in a very similar situation to Mr. Bix Cash right next to me. Just couldn't find a way to get on the leaderboard, and now look at him. Reevaluate his life. He'll be in Nashville in a couple weeks. What are your thoughts?
I actually, you know what? I'm actually almost forgetting about this. I believe me and Bryce were about, I think this was the day was this the day of the tournament, or was this the day before when we were like 10? By the way, not trying to do this, no free advertisements.
John Daly's deep.
Good Boys, a.k.a. the new John Daly Drink Deep.
It was red, white, and blue. It was during the red, white, and blue tournament.
And that's when he called you?
He texted me and said, call me ASAP.
He was fired up about it.
And for me, that's like shit, something's wrong. He needs something right now. Mm-hmm. And so I was on the golf course on a par 3, and I answered it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, it's absolutely electric. He's selling everything right now, moving to Nashville. He's all in with the company. I mean, why wouldn't he be? He's top of the leaderboard, making tons of money. He's the fucking man. But yeah, I mean, it's just great to see people turning around like that.
Love a good comeback story.
Number 2 on the leaderboard, a guy that we brought up. A guy that watched the last episode and kind of got a little upset with me. And I said, hey.
Oh, no.
A little upset.
Let me hear it.
He was like, hey, man, you said I'm blowing you up. And I was like, no, in a good way. Dusty Picks, back on the leaderboard. Number 2. He's been crushing Wimbledon. Have you been following his Wimbledon picks?
I've not specifically.
I've tailed a few of them. Also on a 4-day win streak. But yeah, he's been absolutely dominating Wimbledon. And then he's hit a few home run parlays that he's sprinkled in there. But he's having a huge last 7 days. Wow. He's up 19.4 units, 20% ROI, beating the market by multiples. I mean, the guy's on fire. And then last we're going to talk about here.
Give him to me.
Is a guy that's just keeps scrapping and clawing and showing up on the leaderboard.
And that's
Ghost Picks Jimmy. Ghost Picks Jimmy. 10-7. He's hitting at 58% over the last 7 days. 13.6 units, 20.7% ROI. The guy's crushing it. And I love to see Jimmy do well too, because I know he puts so much work into his craft.
I love Jimmy. He has a new tattoo. Good, nice looking tattoo. Good detailed tattoo.
You got the Phillies
gritty.
mascot.
Like
Did you see that, you guys? That's insane.
Oh, it actually looked.
He got a huge forearm piece. Phillies mascot.
It looked good.
Jimmy's a hell of a guy, though.
Solid guy. I mean, I've always had a good time. I mean, actually, Jimmy used to call me a lot. He used to call Bryce too. He talked to Jimmy one in a while. Bryce.
He calls me still.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's one of those people. I mean, for me, I don't know about you guys. Like, I need him in my life. More so because, and I was explaining this to Jimmy himself, actually.
Okay.
So Boston fans, obviously, most winning fan base, just bred winners, a region full of winners, you might say. All we do is win. All our teams do is win. What? Greatest players of all time and all franchises. It's just incredible.
Connecticut fans.
But Philly fans, we need in our lives, because it wouldn't be as good to be a winner and a Boston sports fan if Philly fans didn't exist. Because it brings me so much joy to watch how upset they get when their teams just come up short time and time and time and time and time again.
Sure.
And it makes them do crazy things, which I enjoy. And I need people like that in my life to make winning that much better. And that's what Jimmy provides for me. So I appreciate him. And all the Philly sports fans.
Okay.
All right, what you got,
moving on from the hot
guys?
list, an internal, kind of an internal thing, I guess.
Happy Trails?
No, Jordo Sports.
Happy Trails.
He has moved on to bigger and better things. It was Jordo Sports, right? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Jordo the Sports Better.
Jordo the Sports
Yeah,
Better.
so
And
swing and a miss. But
the one thing I will miss the most is the SoBet group chat antics between him and Jimmy. Jimmy would always have to say something to Jordo, and Jordo would always respond. And Jordo was like so innocent, you know? And it was just so fucking funny. It would bring a smile on my face every day. So I will miss that. Shout out Jordo.
I don't want to be too harsh because I think people look at sports betting. They're like, oh, it's all luck. There's misconceptions of it. Yes. Like, there are guys on our platform that put in work day in and day out and win. I mean, and that's what we're tracking right now. And Jordo, unfortunately, was not one of those guys. And I mean, that's where him and Jimmy would get in the biggest bickering fights because Jordo would just fucking put out losers and Jimmy would be like just ripping him in the group chat.
It was like an older brother to like a very disobedient young
but it was honestly so funny.
It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And I'm gonna miss that.
I'm gonna miss him. So, good luck to him.
Yeah,
everything.
Shout
he
out
does.
Jordo. Good luck to him. Random. This just hit me because I just thought about Jordo, and I just wanted to bring this up again, and even to Wes. I think Wes might remember this kid. Ethan, both basketballs. Do you remember him? He rebranded. He's no longer talking sports, no longer talking about college basketball. He's now talking about movies, rating movies. So random. It just hit me though.
Unbelievable. One of the originals.
Good luck to that kid. Yeah. The rebrand is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. People are already not happy. It's going to be hard to get through it. But good luck with that. Last thing about the company. As you can saw in the beginning of the show, I built us a platform.
Incredible.
My own two hands.
The first steps in your own personal gambling den.
These two hands right here in this brain.
How does it feel to know that you're going to have a gambling den every Sunday?
For the NFL season.
For the NFL season. And Saturday.
It's going to be unreal. And people don't even know what we're even trying to exactly explain here. Just wait till you fucking see it, all right?
So we're basically putting a wall of huge TVs adjacent to a couch, a fully elevated row of recliners behind the couch, and then a bar behind the recliners with seats. And it's going to be epic.
It's going to be unbelievable. We're going to have 4 TVs on the wall. I believe it's going to be like a bink.
5, I think. 5?
Bink. 5 would be tough. It would be tough for looks wise because it would like look.
Oh, we're going for it. Yeah, we're going for it.
It would look weird. The 4 could go like ding, 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 and it would just look good.
Yeah.
But on the real, Bryce and Ron literally have been grinding that out for like over 15 hours. Like it's absolutely insane. Those two have just been downstairs, absolutely grinding on it.
Grinding.
I don't have a fucking clue. So shout out Bryce, shout out Ron.
Well, next episode we should have the final product potentially done.
I think
most of the final product. So we'll keep everybody updated, but it's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be unreal.
I can't wait. September 6th, massive party in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Our top 11 influencers are all coming.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for them to be in there.
It's going to be a good fucking
I can't wait for them to be in there.
It's going to be a good fucking
The energy in that room on college football Saturday and Sunday, that's what we live for.
It's quite literally what I live for, especially. And there's some, I love NFL Sundays more than college football Saturdays.
For sure.
But there's something about the college football Saturday.
Oh, for sure.
That just... It hits so different.
It does. They hit so differently.
It's so different.
Just that night game where Clemson's about to run down the hill.
By the way, I have my first. Oh, you did it. You did this. I do have my first college football future plays.
Interesting.
Go on. And it's on Clemson.
Well, now to win it all.
Clemson to win it all.
What are the odds on that? Is somebody laughing?
Ryan back here.
We gotta laugh.
The intern that I just met. By the way,
we gotta laugh
sister.
from the back row.
Ryan's back here laughing at the Clemson play. Look, I'm not gonna get into this, Ryan. Clemson's gonna win. They're gonna win the division. The only reason I'm gonna sprinkle them to win the Natty is because they're gonna be in the college football playoff. They're just gonna make it, and they're legit gonna lose one game. It's going to be week 1 to Georgia. After that, they're just going to fucking wipe everybody. So I like Clemson to win the division. I like Clemson to win the Natty. And I like Clemson over wins.
Can we go to the interview with Mike?
And yes, you did this. And he fucking did this. Laughing. Moving on. Next is the interview with
Parlay Pappi.
Parlay Pappi. Also had a kind of rebrand. Not really, but...
I mean, one of the biggest guys on SoBet. Staple. staple of our community. Yeah.
So enjoy that. You're gonna learn some things about him. He's a cool ass kid.
Wild
cool ass
dude.
Actually, how old is Parlay Pappi?
26.
Right there.
Wild dude.
Right there.
Wild dude.
Right there. But enjoy the interview. And
Let me start this interview off by saying, have you ever seen the movie Titanic?
No. No.
I don't understand.
That's an insane start
I don't
to the interview.
understand.
No. I don't like those classic old school movies.
I would argue it's not a classic old school movie.
You're probably valid.
I would argue it's a classic, but it's not an old. Leonardo DiCaprio's in the movie, brother.
I just assumed everybody had seen the Titanic.
Yeah,
I just assumed it was one of their movies.
I don't think I was ever like, I'm gonna sit down and watch the Titanic. I just kind of saw.
Yes, and not just once, multiple times.
But did you sit down like start to finish and you like made it all the way? Or you just you've seen it over time?
I think I somehow have multiple times.
It's a great flick.
That's actually, you bring up a more interesting point. I don't think I've ever mentally been like, I'm gonna watch the Titanic, and I've seen it start to finish multiple times.
Okay.
Like
so
my last question is like, do you know about? You don't even know about
on.
like the Jack and Rose scene at the end, and how Rose was on like this massive piece of wood
buddy.
with plenty of room for Jack to come on.
You're lying.
And she just doesn't let him come on, and she just lets him die.
No, I couldn't tell you two things that happened in that movie.
Well,
come on.
You gotta be able to tell the climax. I mean, we can get.
They get on a boat. The boat sinks.
Yeah, I can get
iceberg.
I can walk you through. I can walk you through it, but I don't. Yeah, no.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to start that off because I figured he was just gonna say yes.
I mean,
I figured he was just gonna say,
shocking.
yeah, I'm a 27-year-old man. I have seen the Titanic.
No.
How old are you, Mike? I don't even know.
Yeah, you right on the head.
Fucking
next August. I turn 27.
All right, so our boy Mike. First of all, what do you prefer people to call you? It seems almost like you have multiple aliases. You got.
Yeah, I'm down with whatever, man. It's just whatever is easier. Parlay, Pappi, Money, Mike. It don't matter. Keep it easy. Just something fun.
How did those two names happen? I actually don't even know that, because you're Money Mike on. No. You're Parlay Pappi on TikTok, and then Money Mike on SoBet.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, originally I think my tag on TikTok was Parlay Pappi, but my name came up, the username came up Money Mike. And so then I had that like cross between two going on because it was like 50-50. So instead of just going with one Ray, I just kind of left it both the same and I just didn't mess with it. So I kind of feel like it's best of both worlds because you might as well have, as many names as can be flowing out there can only really be good. As long as you're bringing it back to the one purpose, we're good.
Kind of like Shaquille O'Neal.
Exactly.
Or like when Kobe changed numbers, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is there some kind of specific reason that maybe you went with Money Mike? Was there an image you're trying to leave in the?
Money Mike was what I was going to start it with. And honestly, basis of the story of where Parlay Pappi came in is when I started on TikTok, I was focusing on giving some parlays out early. And I mean, we went on some insane run. So then it just I think it was honestly someone in the chat one time. And that's when, I was still messing around with it. I was still young enough on like TikTok. I didn't really care if I changed the name or what anything like that. So I was like Parlay Pappi. And then it just that's where everything started growing. So then it was like, well, you got to just leave it. But that's why there's a cross between the both. But
I'm glad he brought up how the name Parlay Pappi came, because I was about to ask. I don't know.
We talked about that on the podcast.
We talked about it on a different pod.
Maybe it was like episode 1, I think.
But there was
randomly brought it up on episode 1.
Because there was some Parlay Pappi name controversy. There was another man who came to us with the name Parlay Pappi and said that you stole his name.
Now he's bet with Pappi on SoBet.
See, that's I trust me. If there's one thing I don't have enough time to do is search people and try to jag someone's name. I mean, it's like one of those things.
A little Rick might be a Rick Ross situation. You know that whole thing?
The drug dealer.
Yeah, but Rick Ross stole his name. You know that whole story?
No,
quick story, real quick. Story time. Rick Ross used to be a corrections officer at a prison.
Yep.
And at the time he was doing that, there was a way more famous Rick Ross, who was a massive drug dealer running pretty much all the cocaine trade in and out of LA. And his name was Freeway Ricky Ross, and he was massive, and he got caught, and it was a huge thing. Like the Washington Post, I was hearing him talk about it, and I guess it was like right at the inception of the internet. So it was actually one of the first things that went like mega viral. And so like everyone knew who this guy was. And then all of a sudden he went to jail and Rick Ross pops up as the rapper. And it's not even
his name.
It's not even close to his name. It's not even close to his name. And like, so he just like clearly stole his name. And this Freeway Ricky Ross guy has taken him to court over it. Oh. This guy's incredible. You should listen to his story, but he did like 20 years in prison, basically like studied the law while he was in prison, got himself out of prison because he found a loophole that he had been like studying.
Damn.
Whatever, long story. But he gets out of prison, takes Rick Ross to court. Rick Ross comes into the court. It was a civil courtroom, obviously. He's not going to jail over stealing his name. But so they sit down at the table. Rick Ross comes in, shakes everybody's hand. There's like 20 people in the room. And just goes to Ricky Ross and goes and walks right by him.
Damn.
After stealing his name.
A wild story.
After stealing his name.
Incredible. I saw Rick Ross, by the way, with the Dolphins game past year. He just showed up at halftime. So
you're in the era of guys on SoBet that came in through Wes. Like we had a first little collection. I wasn't part of the wooing and the recruiting of Money Mike. And so actually, like, I didn't even really know who you were until you came onto the platform. And then now the rest of the story is history. You're one of the biggest creators on SoBet, one of the biggest VIP channels, constantly putting out winners. But tell us about like that kind of transition from the TikTok world onto SoBet and just like that whole opportunity. And then working with our man, Titanic Wes over here.
Yeah, I think it's honestly a crazy story, and I still I think about it sometimes here and there because it is a wild how everything happened. Honestly, from inception of when I decided to start TikTok to meeting Wes was probably a couple of weeks in between. So it was I was brand new into TikTok, and the only reason I even started with TikTok was to prove to one of my friends that it's not that hard to actually go viral or to build a base. Legitimately and I started out and I was like, okay, what's something that I'm passionate about that I could be it'd be fun for me to do as well. Cause I think if any creator, if you do something that doesn't you don't actually have a connection with, or you don't care about, or you don't do, you're gonna get exposed eventually. So obviously it was hand in hand. And I was like, man, that would be fun to just see what happens and just grow a community where we can just have fun. Because I think for me, sports has always been an outlet, get away from all the bullshit, just have a group of guys get together Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is, after a hard work week, get some drinks, get some food, have a damn good time. That's what I think we all at some point have some sort of connection with. So for me, it was just trying to build a fun outlet community. And honestly, when that DM came across, I only had maybe 1,000 somewhere in that followers, and it was really I had a viral video that took off one day and it ran to 120,000 views, and that brought in 500 followers or something like that. It was crazy. And then I was going through the DMs or something and it popped up and I clicked on it and I looked at the channel and everything. I was like, okay. I was kind of leery because there's a bunch of dudes obviously as you pop that will flood your DMs, and there's a lot of shady stuff. And I really passed it over for a while, and Wes kind of hit me up a couple times, and I was like, okay, there must be there's actually somebody behind this. Let's at least give it a shot. And I remember we did the phone call, and I saw after the phone call, everything was legit. And then I kind of did a deeper dive into it, and I saw what you guys were trying to build and everything. And I just thought it was a perfect fit because it was let's do something that we can grow a large audience and make it very fun and affordable, obviously, for everybody. Because there's a lot of people out here we can name for $100, $200, $500, $1,000 that they charge people for plays, which is just absurd because we're trying to build an audience and also help people. So it was just an easy transition. And then it was we're probably close to a year, probably August or September would be a full year on SoBet. And it's been fun, but it's also just been easy because we also get to work with other great handicappers that will help you, will keep you if you need anybody. So it's just what you guys have built was a great network, and it's seamless.
You told us, kind of right as this interview was starting, that you just bought a new piece of property. You got a bunch of plans of things you want to do. So you want to just kind of tell us what maybe some of those plans are, what you want to do with this property you just got?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's funny. Obviously, we're gonna sit up here and say it, but sports betting and what it's been able to do for me it's not a crazy story. It's not a crazy situation, but it's been something that has changed my life. And there's a lot of people that say that, it's like I'm a walking proof of it. Like you just said, we just closed on our property, me and my wife, that we look to build like, not a forever home, but definitely like an upgraded home. And it's been because of the avenue of sports betting and what it's been able to bring to my family and everything, and been able to take care of people. And so really the thoughts with this property is, in Georgia where I am, all the places around us are exploding, and like you can't buy a new neighborhood where you can't like touch your neighbor. And I'm just like a little bit old school. Like I would rather have my space and serenity and build a place that I like and enjoy and have a backyard. So we're just going to build our house there, and we're going to set up a huge studio for obviously the sports betting. I'm trying to do a theater as well, just for all the games and content and all that good stuff. But it's really been, sports betting has been an avenue that has pushed my life just forward. And it's nothing crazy. And I think it's like probably started $5-10 bets just like everybody else, and then just let it stimulate into something over a long period of time. Obviously, we've only had the TikTok for over a year now, so it's not been something I've been a long time creator, but just doing something in the background that I'm somebody that I always like having my hands in different pots and trying to make sure that I can push my net worth forward. And sports betting has always been something that I enjoy thoroughly, and I'm a kind of a geek when it comes to like studying and stuff like that. So the numbers side of it just is easy connection. But the property, we're definitely going to build a studio and then hopefully a home theater, just so we can continue to produce content and have fun with it. That's around the house. It's going to be a good time, but
Deepak Jr.
So you said that, just like all of us, right? Why we started the whole fucking company, because we love sports gambling and we wanted other people to get involved with it and try to figure out that, hey, you don't have to lose everything when you sports gamble if you just do it the right way. Yeah. So first of all, I love sports gambling too. Like I said, I got into it when I was 16. Don't promote underage gambling at all. But that's when I really got into it, right? Yeah. But when I was 16 till I was the age 21, 22, like I was just throwing shit at the wall, right? There was no real rhyme or reason behind anything I was fucking doing. And then, I worked for DraftKings for a little bit, and then I just learned from all these older guys who have been sports gambling for, 50 fucking years. Just all these things, all these tactics, how they've gotten through the game. And that is what basically boosted me into really taking it seriously and really trying to make real money off it. So what was kind of the switch for you that made you go from, okay, this is just fun, I'm just throwing shit at the wall, to, okay, I'm actually making some money off of this, and I'm going to start posting this to people at the public so they can realize that they can make money too?
Yeah, that's a great question. It like you said, it started off as when I started working, I was probably 18. I got an apartment with my brother, really cheap place, but we worked Monday through Friday at a stone yard. Hot outside, obviously in Georgia, it was hot. So we just came on the weekends. We just knew, like, okay, we're going to get the boys together. We're going to get a couple TVs, couple laptops, set them up. We just always loved sports. And I played sports growing up. So it's just something that I've been gravitated towards. And it's just something that I feel like takes us away from whatever life's throwing at you at the time and just gives you a break. And it's like you can spend that with your friends and just gives you that kind of, lets you believe in something and have a feeling with something. And it's just a fun thing that brings people together. I think that's one of the coolest things. The people that sports can bring together, I think is like one of the coolest things. Like all my friends, there's some sort of like sports connection there, which I think is a cool thing as well. But really working hot hours out there. And I remember we had a bookie at the time, again, underage, don't support it at all. You shouldn't do it. Don't look the other way. But I had a bookie at the other time, and it was a very simple thing. He put $500 on the account, and you could spend it, and at the end of the week, you would settle up. And we kind of did it, and I was the exact same way as you. I was like, hey, what should we bet on? Let's put 7-leg parlays. Let's do 4 legs. It made no sense. If you hit something, it was cool. But I remember to this day, there was one time I hit a 6-leg parlay. That's where the parlay stuff comes in. A 6-leg parlay in college football that netted me like $5,000. And at the time, it was a large sum of money. I was making $500 a week. So 5,000, that's when it triggered. And I was like, okay, like this is a serious way. If you take the steps to be success, if you give it the same merit as you would give your job that you're trying to grow in a career as. And that's what I always tell people, like, don't just come into it with the persona of social media told you that you're going to start day one and be successful. Like, you don't walk in the company and day one, you're the manager. Like, you just got to put the work in, you got to put the time in. And a lot of that stuff, a lot of us have busy schedules, so you can't do that. as much as you want to, but just that little spark of making that first large sum of money made me take it seriously. And then it was just something that I was doing on the side to help bring in money. And then, you know, I had gotten to a point where I felt comfortable sharing with people. And that's when I was like, all right, let's do the TikTok thing. Let's have fun with it now. And let's just expand it. But I obviously didn't want to go down the route of some of these people that sell for like hundreds of dollars. I just felt like that was kind of like lame. Like, let's just be what it is. You're going to go through streaks. You shouldn't be charging people $100 if you're just if you actually have a good merit behind it. And that's why I didn't really even think I was getting on the pick side of things until we partnered with you guys. And that was just a seamless transition. But just kind of something I was doing in the background that was always bringing in that extra money that was really helped providing for us. And then now we just turn it into a content, and it's just been a great time. I mean,
who's that guy on Instagram that charges a ridiculous amount, like per day?
I saw Sean Perry just put up.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. What's his name?
Sean Perry.
Sean Perry, yeah. Dude, there was a stretch of time where for some reason, I don't know how he does this, but whenever he goes live, we get a notification. So I would get the notification. I would go in there and I would just spam his comments. Be like, this guy's a fucking fraud. Like, he's trying to take your money. His picks are $1,000 a day. Like, there's no way you can be profitable. And I would just spam it. Like, it would just be all SoBet, like, in his comments. And he would go on and be on for 30 seconds and just, like, try to get his bid in before I could just, like, spam it all out there. And then he would jump off. It was actually funny little rivalry.
Well, I saw he just put up and it was some sale, and it was $5,000 for lifetime access, and I was like, what?
What was he selling?
$5,000 for a lifetime access to it.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
that's so insane.
That's crazy.
That guy, no matter how big SoBet gets, I will take a stance right now. I will never let him in the door.
No, dude, it's just like it's not the people. It's not the people.
He can come on the porch and hang out, but I'm never letting him. I mean, I'm a nice guy. If we're having a party, I'll let him come hang out on the porch. But
could be a good party guy.
But
he's not coming in the door.
Yeah, no.
I made the stance. Before we hop off, tell us just kind of about like what you were doing on the side, because it's super interesting. A lot of the guys on SoBet, particularly, are all just crazy hustlers, and like I use you as an example all the time. Like, you get up early, you fucking hit a live, like you and your brother, I mean, you can explain it, but like you guys started the company and stuff, and like you're doing several different things. And I think even just that story, like aside from SoBet and like the platform we built and like the mission we're on, like the stories that you guys have are, I think, you know, inspirational to even the users we have on the platform and part of the brand that we're trying to build.
So I'll give you a little background. So basically, my parents owned a stone quarry growing up, so we kind of had that direct tie. So I've been around the business, and like when I say stone quarry, think about like landscaping, boulders, think about stone that goes on people's houses, that type of stuff. So we had that background, and so when we were got out of high school, obviously we needed to start working. So we got a job at a local stone yard, and we had worked there for probably 4 years, and we just continued to chip away, claw up. I started for $8 an hour, and got it up to like $12 an hour. And I was probably 19, 20 at the time. And I thought $12 an hour, like I was crushing it. The money that I was making, I would work overtime and get a time and a half, obviously. And I was doing well. I could support myself, all this good stuff. And I just kept working and working and working, because I just had a very, like you were saying, like a hustler mindset. Like, life is only going to be what you make it. And if you just sit there and pass the day by and don't have that mindset of just go get it, then you're not going to get anywhere. And I think that's obviously where it all stems from. But worked up to being in sales, got an offer from our competitor for a large amount of money, went over there. They went on this huge spiel of this is what we're going to do for you if you come over here, sold me the whole package. And at the age I was, the money that we were talking about, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Whatever. That's where I found out, obviously, be careful of what you sign up for, because it might not always be the grass might not always be greener on the other side. And I realized really quickly that I just wanted to go do things and show people. I always had a sales background, so I went and crushed our numbers. We took it from $1 million company. By the time I was done, our division was doing $7 million.
Wow.
And so, but we just had that we only had a small crew. We just kept pushing and pushing. And I realized really quickly in a corporate setting that it's only about who's above you, and you have to have the right connections. You got to talk to people the right way, or else you just won't continue to progress, and people will work against you. And I realized, butting my heads, I'm like, why would I do something for somebody else? Like, why do I care so much? I'm a high level person, but like, I'm going to be here for the next 30 years to make the money that I need to, like, obviously be good. Like, I don't want to be okay. I want to be good. I want to be taken care of. So me and my brother started a little side thing that was legitimately no merit behind it. We knew a bunch of people in the business. We had networked with a lot of pool builders. And so we started a business where we basically pressure wash and then seal these expensive pool decks for these people. And that kind of was going on at the same time. And then one year I just had enough at the job, walked in, quit on the spot. I had no background, no backup plan, no nothing. And went all in with my brother on the sealing company and gave it 3 years, and we've just exploded. And now we have, our background obviously gave us a lot of connections. But again, that's why I always tell people, the more connected you are, the more possibilities, even if it might not be today, with that relationship you might have with somebody could stem into a big thing then. And so again, all while all that was going on, that's my main focus. Obviously, the sports betting was going on in the background just as a fun outlet again, but still bringing in more money. And that's why, like you said, there's a lot of guys on SoBet that have that similar story where like they got SoBet going on, but they also got 3 other companies. And that's kind of how I have it too, is where we built this company up to being a 6-figure company, which is great. But at the same time, like, sports is my passion, and then we have that as well. So it's just fun to have multiple things that you're passionate about. And as long as
this company is a 6-figure company?
Huh?
This company's or your company's a 6-figure company?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. And it's just you and your brother.
Yeah, and one other guy, which we brought on, who's like a friend of ours. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, but it's like, we do a lot of hard work outside, but we want to be good. And so we just build all these connections to where they just send us all the work, and we just take care of them. We've also networked to a higher clientele where most of our jobs
are. Wes?
Huh?
That's what Wes always says. Stay outside.
Yeah, dude. Because nobody wants to be out there. Nobody likes to be in the.
I mean, by the way, I didn't want to bring this up. You guys are bringing this up.
You don't like to be outside.
Please look at the camera. Look at my tan. It's so on point. Look at this. Are you kidding me?
Guts has been outside.
No
recently.
one likes to be outside.
Guts has been outside recently.
Look at this tan.
Dude, outside is nice, man.
This is a cookie fucking brown. Like, this is what you dream of.
Okay.
I'm perfect. This tan, and it's tan's like not even to where it could be. Like,
I can't.
You think you can get tanner?
You give me another month, and there's plenty of golf in our future.
All right, let's see that stomach.
Oh, everything is bad. Even look at my arms. Look at my arms. People call it a farmer's tan, but really it's a golfer's tan.
We should put one of those smiley face sunscreens on Guts' stomach.
No sunscreen. I'm not a sunscreen guy.
That's insane.
It's not insane.
That's just unhealthy.
Oh,
it's not. Crazy. But anyway, that'll pretty much do it, Mike. I appreciate you, bro, coming on here, kind of explaining who the hell you are to people, because I think a lot of people are wondering a lot of questions. They always wonder about what we do, where we come from, who we are. So appreciate you taking some time out of your day coming on here.
And appreciate you being on SoBet too, and a part of the team. Yeah, valuable part of the team. Yeah. Any closing words for your subscribers, SoBet subscribers,
or maybe anything nice you just want to say to me personally,
or me?
Yeah, you look good today. The skin is glistening now that you mentioned it.
Were you talking to me or him?
Oh, come on, you know who he's talking to.
Oh.
I appreciate you boys having me, and like, honestly, man, all I always tell people is just stay the course. Like, while we're all gonna go through ups, downs, left, rights, but just trust the course, and the amount of information that you get exposed to SoBet is just like anything out there. Stay the course. Just ride it out, and the amount of stuff you'll get exposed to on SoBet, the amount of profitable people you'll be around, it's only going to continue to grow, as you guys are a testament to. Like, this company is in its infancy. You can already see all the updates that we do throughout the season, and it's only going to get better, and the people that were here at the beginning are going to be able to look back and say, damn, I was a part of something else that was at the same time helping people grow, but also a part of something at the very beginning, which I think is cool as well.
Thank you, Mike. Stay the course. Sign up for SoBet. College football
right around the corner.
42 days away.
50, I think.
I'm so fucking hyped. We get to play the game.
It's like you're not even locked in.
August 24th.
We're like 42 days away.
Yeah.
It's August 24th.
Someone want to do the math?
Anybody
August 24th is definitely not. Can we
Bryce
get a
is
math
about to.
check?
Don't you fucking hit end
I mean,
broadcast until we find this out.
We need the math.
Don't
behind
you
this.
touch it. We need to know now. Ryan's looking it
how-
up. Don't worry.
How many days
Till college football kickoff.
away?
I'm gonna guess 42
is
and I'm gonna lock it
August
in.
45.
Is August 24th. It's 44.
Oh.
This guy,
I was closer than you. You said 50.
Depends on the time zone.
50 something.
Yeah, I said 42. Originally 43.
All right. 44
Yeah,
days
college
away.
football. It's
Gutsy
coming.
wins
You
again.
heard it here first.
Gutsy's right again.
All right, Mike.
Appreciate it, bro.
Back from the interview. Thank you. Shout out Parlay Pappi. Shout out Money Mike. Where did both of those names come from? Money Mike and Parlay Pappi.
We'll probably find out in what they just watched.
That we should ask him that.
We definitely will ask him that.
All right. Back from the interview. Shout out Money Mike, Parlay Pappi. Now you know the story behind both of those names. Incredible guy. Incredible guy. I mean,
Classy.
Hey, and
Some would say one of a kind.
you're the one. Who are you?
We should probably introduce, if we didn't keep the clip on him when we say, hey, Westicles, you coming in here. Wes Huber.
The king of sports betting influencers.
And I imagine like a little woo, some clappings going
Hercules.
on. I don't know about that, but Wes, I guess why don't you
for the
just
people
give a
that don't
quick
know,
breakdown
for the
of
people that don't
that
know.
are literally asking, who is this guy wearing a Surf Lodge Montauk hat? Which, by the way, Montauk going to be underwater soon. See that?
Oh no!
Mm-hmm. Heard some bad things. So
Wow.
how's that?
The ocean's coming up.
Allegedly.
Dudes
Oh
aren't high enough.
no!
Climate
Dude, as the
change,
mayor
I
of that
guess.
town, what are you
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
about it?
That's why we have to go.
As much as possible.
We have to go as much as possible.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it while we still
Yeah.
can. But yeah, give the people a quick breakdown of who the hell you are.
Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
That's the $1 million question.
And that is in fact the $1 million question. A lot of people are look at that guy and they go, "Oh, I wonder who that guy is." So the people that are watching, I guess, break it down for them real quick. What do you do for SoBet?
What do I do for SoBet?
What's your official title?
I would say I'm like the talent manager.
Oh, okay, all right.
I find talent around the block. I bring
Sure.
them in, mold them.
Sure. So does Ryan.
Hey, Ryan's a good guy. Ryan's a good guy.
Yeah, a grinder.
Grinder.
The one in the wings. Ryan's in the wings.
He's digging deep. He's digging those holes and finding the diamonds in the rough.
6 feet deep, 6 feet wide.
So he's digging the holes. You're coming through with like a I don't know, like a metal detector of sorts.
Nah, I come in with the lasso and I start reeling them in.
You reel him in, or you reel the diamonds in?
The diamonds.
Okay. All right. I guess that works. How long has it been since Wes has actually come?
You want to hear
the?
the story about Wes coming on board?
Should share it for the people.
So Wes and I met. We started DMing. Wes was running the Dr. Locks account for Friday Beers at the time. This was probably like the end of 2021, I think.
Beginning of 21.
21, yeah, beginning of 21 is when we first started like going back and forth on Instagram and shit. And then at the end of that year, I think like I was trying to basically pitch you guys on partnering with us or some shit. And then we just kind of stayed in touch, and I saw you in California for the Super Bowl. We went to dinner, and then we were just kind of like staying in touch.
Mm-hmm.
You were working with Mac and like some of those dudes at the time, and then basically what happened was I was DMing.
Back in them.
As I do often.
Yeah.
You do a
I
lot.
was DMing.
DMs
as I
are
do
hot.
often. Yeah, they work sometimes. And I was trying to get influencers on the platform because we were building out like the initial platform. And so I got you. I got that. So basically, my first thought process was I want to get 4 sports betting influencers, and then I want to get 4 just sports influencers. And basically, what we're going to do is build this platform where the sports betting influencers are going to win, and the sports influencers who have these followings like Nerd Sesh, Jack, and like Ethan are going to get users.
Yep.
And so we're going to get people to sign up, and then they're going to stay on board because you guys are going to win. That was the initial thought process, which was actually insane.
Wild.
But so the other half didn't cut it, obviously. But
we learned that early.
But I was able to grind and get these guys on board, and it was a bitch, dude. Even getting like you on board, like we had like what 4, 5, 6 calls before.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people were people were banging at my door.
Dude, I did that with probably 20, 30 people and only got 4 on the platform.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bitch. And at the time I didn't realize it, but I was selling. I was selling these guys. But
it was a tough sale compared to other companies.
Yeah, but I was able to throw it together. We launched the platform, and then that summer I was like, okay, like the influencers, we were getting paid users that summer. Yeah. We were making money, getting paid users. People were on the platform, and I was like, okay, I need somebody to run that role who can get sports betting influencers on the platform, so we can get users on the platform. And literally the only guy that I knew that could run that role, because it's so specific, dude. Yes. It is so specific, was Wes. And so I hit up Wes and was like, yo, like, are you interested in this? And he was like, yeah. And so we had a couple conversations, and I was like, yeah, we'll do like a contract to hire, like no guarantees or anything. Like, just come out to this party that we're throwing. It's going to be sick. Yeah. And then we can take it from there. And so Wes like starts coming on board, like getting involved, comes out to the party, and the party's just insane. Like the rooftop at Old Red.
The Old Red.
I was like, wow, we have a lot of money. I was like, this is actually wild.
Well,
that was a crazy party. Wes was in the mix. We get the table service after, have a night. And after that, Wes was like, yeah, I'm on board.
It seems like my kind of company.
Coop was trying to buy Allen Iverson a bottle at Layer Cake, and I was like, hey, buddy, no, we don't need to do that.
It's 2 a.m. We got to go home.
That is Wes Huber, a.k.a. Westicles.
Yeah. Right. But how funny is that story?
No,
like now that you know Wes after 2 years of knowing him.
I'll be honest, I don't even think that I knew you were at that party.
No, you were just getting to know him.
Yeah, I don't even think I knew you were there.
But you had met him like a few times.
Like, I'm trying to even remember, like,
we
stood
at the bar a little bit.
I remember like meeting everybody. Like,
you were drinking some brown drinks, and I was like, "What are you drinking?" You're like, "Some bourbon on the rocks." And I was like, "Sure, sign me up. I'll take a bourbon on the rocks." Some brown drinks.
You don't want to have what I'm having, and put some fucking hair on your chest.
First time to Nashville.
Oh,
like, this is sick.
Hey, good sales job.
Yeah, we basically scammed you. Welcome, buddy. Like,
no,
it worked out. But like, we basically scammed you into it, though. We're like, we're gonna show you the nicest fucking possibility.
Well, it was a good sale.
It was going to like a Power 5, D1, maybe middle of the pack Power 5, like a Vanderbilt, and being like, oh, this is what campus life's gonna be like for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
But you just lose every game. But then you show up with zero expectation. You're like,
lose every game.
Me and Wes,
we're not losing every game.
Me and Wes, I get what Wes is saying. We're on very similar way, but that is kind of like not the losing games, but that is kind of what it was like. It was almost like, hey, we're gonna give you the absolute best.
We're building a program.
Yes, we're like a D3 right now.
Yeah, but like that first like 6 months, it was a grind getting people to post, getting people onto the platform.
Bro, there was a point where there was one person posting consistently, and it was me, and that was it. We couldn't get Lloyd to consistently post. Nasty didn't post for the first 2 months. We couldn't get a post for the first 2 months.
You were just driving users,
dude. And that, credit to Nasty. I mean, when he
actually decided to turn that key on,
everybody
kind of did
for football season. Everybody kind of did for football season. Everybody kind of turned it up, and. Yeah, he went full bore into it. And I mean,
we also had the craziest ploys to get people to post. We're like, post 3 times a week, $500.
Just for the love of fucking Christ. I would call Lloyd and be like, bro, just post anything. Like, I don't even give a shit what you say, bro. It doesn't have to be a pic. I don't have any pics. Bro, I don't care. Post that you don't have pics. Like,
I was hitting up everybody.
Anything.
Just post anything.
Now, like, in comparison now, the platform's putting out 5,000 posts a month.
It's absolutely insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fucking
insane. It's insane, yeah. I mean, it is crazy how quick we've gone from that to what it is now. Like, now it's a weird little world. I had to deal with, I was thinking about this the other day. I had to deal with, I was in Boston. Yeah. Well, that was a nightmare trip getting up to Boston. I don't even want to talk about it. Did I tell you guys about that?
I heard about it.
I'll just briefly recap this for you guys because it's the most insane story.
And I'm like, I'm running a company right now. So it's actually insane that I'm doing shit like this. It's fucking blows my mind too. But I'm going to New York. Have to get my passport because Wes and I are going to London in 2 weeks.
Sure.
So it's Wednesday. I'm leaving for New York Wednesday night. And I was supposed to get to New York and then drive up or go train to my grandparents, drive up to Boston, and then I was supposed to take meetings all Thursday. My flight gets canceled because I can't get my fucking passport. And so I essentially have to get to wait, that's not what happened. So but I get my passport. Yes. I have to push my flight back an extra day to Wednesday. It was supposed to be Tuesday. I was supposed to have a day in between. Push my flight back to Wednesday, get my passport on Wednesday. Storms come in, my flight gets canceled. And I'm like, fuck. But they rebooked me for 6 a.m. that morning, so I'm like, all right, whatever. So I fly Thursday morning.
Okay.
And I realize I'm on a flight to Detroit. They put me on a fucking flight to Detroit. And I was so tired, dude. I just get on the flight. I was just like, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to fucking Detroit. Like, no. And I'm like bartering with the flight attendant, like at like 5:30 a.m. like in the aisle. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I go to Detroit, and then they have me booked on a flight for that night once I get to Detroit. And I'm like, oh my, I'm supposed to be in Boston taking meetings. And so I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. So I go to the first desk I see at 7:30 in Detroit, and the guy's like, oh, we got a flight going out to New York right now. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to cancel all these meetings, but whatever. Like, I had a dinner I was supposed to get to with other people that I was meeting, business meetings. So I was like, I can get to New York late, make the meeting still, make the dinner. So I'm like, whatever. Get to New York, take the train up to my grandparents, get off the train. My grandpa's dropping the car off so I can drive to Boston. And I realized I left my suitcase on the train. My suitcase. And I'm hiking Mount Katahdin the next week, and it has all my hiking gear in it. And I am, after this whole debacle, I'm in straight panic mode. I'm like, oh my God. So I call the MTA North and the Lost and Found guy, and I'm like, hey, like, I literally just got off the train. I left my suitcase. And the guy's like, yeah, 3 to 5 business days, buddy. Put in the Lost and Found stuff. I was like, dude, can you just like call the conductor? I'm like panicking on the phone. I'm like, just call the conductor. Like, I just did it. Like, I know the exact train. And he's like, no, 3 to 5 days. Like, we have a system and process and like, this is why we do it. It goes in the lockbox, and then the people go get it. They bring it to Grand Central, 3 to 5 business days. And I was like, dude, I know I fucked up on this. I'm literally on the phone with this guy. And I'm like, yo, I know I fucked up, but I just need your help. I was like, I need you to help me one time. And he's like, and hangs up. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So now I'm panicking, and I'm like, okay, the train goes up one more stop, and then it comes back to the city. And I was like, it's got to be the same train. So I go to the other side of the platform. 40 minutes later, this train comes. I get on. I'm like looking for my bag, running down the train, trying to get on and off and grab my bag. And my bag's not there. And I'm like looking. And you have about a minute between. I timed one of the trains so I would know how much time I had. I was running my phone.
Good strategy.
And the minute passes, I'm still on the train. I'm like, fuck. So I'm going back towards the city now without my bag. And, dude, the master train guy, or whatever his title is, I think they said Grand Train Master, was running an observation from Poughkeepsie to Grand Central. And I just, like, see this guy wearing a lanyard and, like, different clothes than the train conductor. And I was like, this guy's got to be important. I grab him. I'm like, yo, man, like, I just fucked up. I left my bag on the train. Like, yada, yada. I'm, like, pleading with him. And he's like, this train? I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, the conductor just got off. Like, he has the bag right now. And I was like, no way. Can you, like, call him? Like, and he's like, nah, man. Like, sorry, call Lost and Found. And I'm like, buddy, please. Like, I just fucked up. Like, please. And he's like, all right. And like, all of a sudden, like, just... I think he realized I was a West Point guy somehow, because he grabs a cop and he's like, hey, this guy, that was his bag. He's a West Point guy. Like, can you just not put it in the lockbox? Because once they put it in the lockbox, it's gone forever. And so the
at
cop,
least 3
like,
to 5 business days.
Yeah, the cop picks up the phone, like calls the cops up there, and he's like, hey, like, you get that suitcase? And they're like, nah, we're heading back to the city. Like, we're not gonna be back till 9 p.m. And he was like, yeah, but did you put the suitcase in the lockbox? And they're like, nah, we just threw it on top of the lockbox. And I was like, let's fucking go. And then they were like, you're in luck, kid. Like, and so they were like, all right, yeah, call the officers at the station, like, tell them not to put it in the lockbox, like, and just put it by the side. Like, we got the guy here. And so then I had to Uber. This is where it gets fucking insane. I haven't even told my mom this side of the story, but I had to Uber, because now I'm on the train back to the city, back to the other train station to get the car to drive to Poughkeepsie so I can get my bag to go to Boston. And by now, I've wrote dinner off. I've canceled dinner. I'm just running around fucking collecting my things. And so I get an Uber. I call my mom because she's freaking out about the hiking trip. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to go get it. Uber back. It's like 20 minutes. Get my car. Get in my car. And I'm like, I just left my AirPods in the Uber. Bro, I am dead serious. And at this point, I'm like, I'm lost for words about like the last 2 days in general, but they're AirPods, so they show up on your Find My on your iPhone. Yeah. And so I just pull it up, and the guy's like going down the road like 5 minutes away, and I started like panicking, like messaging on Uber, and the guy's just denying my calls, denies all three. You get 3 calls, denies all 3, won't message me back, and so I'm just following him. I'm just following him like high speed, like down the Hudson, and like eventually he like realizes what's happening and picks up his phone and is like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Just stay where you are." I'm like, "Don't get out of your car."
I'm fucking right behind you.
I just come up. I'm like, "Thank you," and he just hands them to me, and I get back in the car, go get my suitcase, finally get to Boston at 10 p.m. Took me 2 days to get to Boston, dude. And I almost lost everything. But I got it all back.
Insane.
So it was all just one big waste of time.
That's what it sounds like.
Just
I guess.
Just on a fuck up. Just one of them things.
But sometimes you just gotta grind.
No. Sometimes you fuck up and you just gotta work your way out of it.
Yeah. I was truly just grinding for a couple hours.
No, just grinding to get your stuff back.
Such a funny story.
That is a fucking wild story. Why did we even start telling that?
Because Mount Katahdin, I think.
Oh yeah. Anyways, climbed up a tall mountain and climbed back down.
Yeah.
Was that pretty good? No animal encounters to speak of.
No. Oh, one small snake. Were
you a little nervous?
No.
Slightly.
No. He didn't have a chance, really.
Poisonous or no?
Yeah, I think it was a copperhead.
Okay.
So that was your July 4th, basically.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Yeah.
I went out to Montauk.
The mayor himself.
The place that's going underwater.
Yeah. I had to go observe and see for myself.
Check out the shores.
Make sure the levees are being constructed.
Yeah, of course.
Had a couple cocktails. I enjoyed myself.
Sure.
Took a dip in the beach. Saw my friend's DJ, and
Shout
that was
out.
about it.
Shout out your boys.
Shout out my boys.
Good July 4th, you say?
I would say very American of me.
I would agree. Of
I
course.
had a hot dog. Even went to the. We went to the.
Me and Bryce had a glizzy.
Yeah, we went to the ballpark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys went to that game that
The
night.
ballpark, yeah.
Me and Bryce
Good old
also had a
Yankee
couple
Stadium.
glizzies. Because July 4th, we actually played in a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Won the golf tournament.
You did?
Oh yeah. I went to a playoff, and
this guy's playing some of the best golf of his life. Right?
And I was dying.
You've
me and Bryce were the reason we won. And I'm not even. But we had to go to a playoff hole with fucking 4 other teams. I solo birdied it to win.
No.
Yeah. It was like a makeshift random like hole that they just made up for the fucking thing.
What?
But I was dying though.
So
how do they make up a hole?
They basically said, we're just gonna go from this tee box to that green over there.
What?
Yeah,
No
to like
way.
just to make it different. And it was
And they called it a par 3?
yeah, bro. And it was the most
That's actually sick.
the most impossible
What if the PGA
pin
did that?
location ever. We actually
Well,
also
what was
one
your
of the-
best chirp of the day?
Probably actually on the playoff hole when it was with a group of kids and Bryce said something very funny that fucking killed me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of what we said. It might have been something that we can't. I don't know if we can.
Oh, you don't remember?
You're just making bird noise.
Do you have any good chirps in your back pocket?
An actual chirp.
Dude, Bryce and I were playing beer pong the other weekend, and I had one of the best chirps of my life that I came up with on the spot. I just put this kid in a blender, dude. It didn't help that I was on absolute fire, dude. I think I ran one game every cup. I hit Fire Island twice. It was wild. But we're running these kids in beer pong. Bryce and I. Bryce was in cups too. It was one of those great duos where you're. A lot of final cups. Yeah.
You need one person like that.
Yeah, it was just a great duo. One of those special days. And these kids, as soon as we walked in, these kids just wanted a piece of us. Like, dude, everything. They were pulling everything. They even chirped Bryce about testicular cancer.
No way.
Before they knew he had it. Yeah. And so we're playing. Dude, we're
No
playing.
way.
We're playing, and I hit him with 2 back-to-back chirps, which were just unbelievable. I was like, hey, what's your mom's name? And he was like, why? And I was like, this one's for her. And I just hit the cup. And then he was like trying to turn me back. Like, that's so disrespectful. My mom's dead. And I was like, hey, buddy, off the table. We're doing autographs after the game. I was like, off the table. We're doing autographs after the game.
But the classic Yo Mama joke. Can't come back.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
We got a lot coming up,
though.
though. We got a lot coming up right now.
We got a lot. We're going to Louisville this weekend.
Yep.
Shout out to PLL. PLL deal.
Shout out them.
Shout out Wes.
Shout out RJ.
Shout out Wes.
Shout out Wes for managing that deal.
Definitely shout out RJ as well. Very cool dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to RJ. We're doing Louisville for All-Star Weekend, and then in 2 weeks we got San Diego for the PLL San Diego event, which is going to be a great time.
That's going to be.
We're going to hit
boys
the pod
out west.
Take the boys out west.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take the boys out west.
Maybe hit up.
Nobu Malibu.
I didn't want to say it.
That's
I didn't
so
say it,
far.
I
We
didn't
make
say
a
it.
trip.
I don't know.
out to
I don't
LA.
even know my way around California. I've been in
it's
California
about-
fucking one fucking time.
it's
I don't
about
know
2 hours.
Where's
No,
what.
it's more than that.
It's about 2 hours.
It's far.
Give or take.
I don't know if I'll drive to. We'll see. We'll see.
No.
See.
It's not even like a possibility.
No, I agree. I didn't even say it. I don't know why you're even looking
I guess
at
we'll
me.
have some time on Monday.
Because we're going to the game Tuesday.
We're going to the game Tuesday.
Wow, we
We'll
might
some-
have all day Monday.
We might have some
make
time to chill.
a little trip up to
Little LA trip.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take the boys out west.
Sometimes you just got to go to Nobu Malibu.
Sometimes you got to check out the beach. Eat some fish on the beach.
What if that guy's
Expensive
there?
fish on the
How
beach.
mind blown would he be?
Oh.
If he's just like, hey, Brock.
I'm just like, hands me the kid chopsticks again. Just a good joke.
We go to for the people that don't know, we go to this place in we go to Nobu in Vegas at the Virgin, and the guy that works there identifies Brock every time, and just he's one of the what's his name? Brian? I think it's Brian.
Classy guy, though.
It could be Brian.
Yeah.
He's one of the best waiters I've ever had.
Ever.
Yeah.
He knows the Nobu menu in and out at every single restaurant. I don't even know if they differ. They probably do. He knows them at every single one.
Definitely do.
He's worked at several.
Yep.
The people that own Nobu definitely know who he is.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Have to. He's top tier.
He's insane.
But he knows Brock.
Yeah. Hard not to. I'm a hard guy to forget.
For sure.
All right. Hey, shout out Bryce and Ron, building the gambling den.
Hey.
Shout out me.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
We did it again.
We did do it again. Thank you, Money Mike, for coming on. Thanks, Westicles, for making an appearance.
Yeah,
really appreciate
I'll
it.
make more appearances.
Yeah, well, we like that you
I mean,
cut
when
out
we-
your time,
when
but,
we invite
we
you,
don't want your
sure.
head getting too big. So.
No.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
Peace
Make
out.
sure you hit that like button and subscribe.
I'm never looking back. I'm always looking nowhere. See it on my track. Just wanted you to know where.